I think everybody else from council has chimed in. We have full attendance of council, and the time is 7 o'clock, and I will call to order the special city council meeting for the city of Wabasha, December 22nd, 2020, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you still hear me okay? I think I unplugged my mic for a second there. Good. Okay, so our agenda brings us to the city administrator candidate process. And as you know, there's some legal sensitivity to this matter. So I'm going to defer to our city council, Brandon Fitzsimmons, who's with us this evening, and allow him to give us some context for the matter. Let's see, maybe I assumed Brandon was guest, but maybe he's still getting signed on. Have you seen Brandon, Wendy? There he comes. Hi, Brandon. I see you visibly. I don't know if we can hear you yet. There we go. Brandon, do you want to test your audio? I think we still have you muted right now.
All right, how's that?
That's great.
Okay.
Brandon, I just gave you the privilege of giving us context for the matter that we have on the agenda this evening.
All right. Yep. So thank you, Mayor Duran and council members. So for this discussion, especially since we're in an open session, I'm going to give a lot of deference to the memo that you did receive this afternoon from Chad Arneson, another labor and employment attorney in our office, who's also joining us, but he's got microphone issues, so I'll handle the talking. So in sum, obviously the agenda item is dealing with the city administrator appointment process. And Madam Mayor, maybe just since I'm going to give a lot of deference to the memo, do you mind just querying counselors if they did receive it, just to make sure everybody got it?
Yep, certainly. I know it was received earlier today. Can anybody please acknowledge verbally if you did not receive the memo sent by Chad Arneson? All right, I think everybody's got it.
Okay. All right, so, one, I said, we're dealing with the city administrator appointment process, and, why are we dealing with that specifically? Obviously, as part of that process, a lot goes into it. There's the interview process, there's the application process, there's reference checks and the background investigation. So based on information that's gleaned as part of that process, which we did summarize in our memorandum, and specifically within the memo, for those of you who may have it up, it starts at the bottom of page 2 and extends to page 3. So in my view, that is the best synthesis of the new information that has happened subsequent to your December 15th meeting. Now, I will clarify, more for the record, at the December 15th meeting, you did approve an employment agreement between the city of Wabasha and Lori Young. However, that agreement was never provided to the candidate, Lori Young. So obviously, since it was not provided to her, she has not signed it. So therefore, in effect, what is relevant, not only take into account, as we summarize in our memo, the new information you have, but what is also relevant is any contractual issues related to this. So as of today, December 22nd, there technically is no employment agreement between the city of Wabasha and Lori Young. So what is your goal tonight? is you all need to consider not only, again, the new information, but the fact that there is no agreement, and decide with the information is not only summarized in the memorandum, uh, uh, bottom as well to it, to the nation. A few things that I'll speak more high level and general that you can take. I'd not to proceed with an employment agreement, nor employ Lori Young as City of Wabasha City Administrator. Option 2, and for those following in the memo, that's on page 5, option 2, we opine legally that option 2 is something you don't have to do, what is a term known rescission, because we argue that there is no effective agreement to rescind. However, you all need to weigh, even though you're giving likely a lot of deference to team legal, if you've got, enough legal concerns, you can look at option 2 again, rescission, starting on bottom page 5, proceeding to page 6, going to 7, then to 8, and 9 of that. So then the third option you can consider, again, we have, withdraw the offer and not make any or not pursue employment of Lori Young. The option 2 I just talked about is rescission. Option 3 is starts on the bottom of page 9, and it's PDF page 9. You can look at the new information, not make any final determination, and instead give Ms. Young not only information that you've received now, but give her an opportunity to respond. Again, we're on option 3 here. And mechanically, the way that would work is, and just as a side note, we do have potential motion language ready, but we want to see where discussion goes. So with this option 3, we'd recommend we provide Ms. Young with the new information and tell her she'll have a chance to respond. And what I'd recommend we do for efficiency, especially taking into account the holidays, though we'll defer to the mayor's presider, is consider a city council meeting date at which Ms. Young could respond. Now, technically, we would recommend, though legally you don't have to, that meeting, if you pursue option 3, giving her a chance to respond, should occur before January 15th. Because if you, other electronic and written communications with Ms. Young mentioned potentially a January 15th start date as city administrator. So again, option 3 is give her information, give her a chance to respond, and have a council meeting, preferably before January 15th, where you, and again, it'd be in an open meeting where you and Ms. Young can talk about the new information. Then we get to option 4 for those following along in the memo, and that involves, maintaining an offer to Ms. Young, which you've made for employment with the city of Wabasha. So proceed and effectuate that. But then you can also consider, related to that, communicating not only new information you gleaned, but give some direction, potentially, for example, to mayor and legal counsel to work on expectations and directives that you have made that are related to the new information. So again, option 4 is let's proceed with or go ahead and employ her as city administrator, but maybe give some expectations or directives related to the new information you have. So again, I know it's legally loaded, but I just wanted to distill the 4 options again. Is 1, withdraw your offer, not have her employed Lori Young as city administrator. 2 is, take account legal everything. Is there really any agreement you have to rescind in withdrawing your offer to her? Option 3 is, well, let's hold on a minute and let's just give her a chance to respond, and then we'll make our final determination on what to do with employment. Or option 4 is, let's employ her as city administrator, but again, maybe give some expectations or directives related to it. So there's my best shot at summarizing a lengthy memo and an attachment on why we're here and what your options are. So obviously team legal will stay on for the whole call, but I think Madam Mayor will hand it back to you as presider to determine where to take discussion.
Yes, and typically I mention this as a matter of course, just so that we're clear. In our special meetings, we have this and this only this agenda item before us. I leave it to council to certainly entertain questions for council, SEL, or clarification on what has been outlined for us. Are there any questions?
We just need just clarification. We just need a motion and a second for further discussion. Can we do that?
You can do that for further discussion. I think discussion is probably required to make a motion on any of these four choices. So I would certainly first ask if there's any clarification that's required.
Okay.
Or, and Madam Mayor, just to clarify again, I know how you operate. Normally discussion may occur after a motion, but obviously we have a single item. So I think it would be fair and appropriate at your discretion that people just have discussion now and ask questions before any motion is made. Now, again, anybody at any time can make a motion, but I think discussion and questions,
It's fine.
maybe you want to open it up for that first.
Yep, certainly. So any questions or discussion, please feel free to speak up, members of council.
Well, I'll speak up. I wasn't part of the hiring process, and so all I did was get Lori's application, and then I got this memo we got today. So the memo we got today is there may be some truth to it, there may be some truth to it, but it's throwing up a lot of red flags to me.
Craig, your mic is just a little bit unstable. I don't know if it's close to you or not sometimes.
Yeah, that's the problem with this. I had to switch computers.
Sure, we'll be patient. I just thought if it was directional, it might be solvable. But we can hear you.
Okay, if I could figure it out, I would. So I just think this has a lot of red flags. And so I'm really skeptical that we should be hiring this person, because that's going to it could create a lot of problems down the line with our existing personnel and with some of the problems that we're trying to tackle.
Thanks for that, Craig. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I was on the hiring committee. This is an unfortunate way to have this end, but I've seen enough from the memo. We do this background check for a reason, and I just can't gamble. You know, hiring someone's always a gamble, but the odds are now not as favorable, and I can't with confidence start off a relationship like this. So those are my thoughts on it.
I just like
Brian, I agree. Go ahead, Jeff.
like to thank the people that did the background checks. It looks like they did a pretty thorough job, and basically doesn't look good for I don't think it'd be a good fit for the city of Wabasha, and I'll just say right out now, I think we should take option one.
You know, Jeff, I'm willing to make that motion right now.
I'll second that, John, if you want to make it.
I'll make the motion to deny unemployment on the basis of an unsuccessful background check.
And Madam Mayor, maybe, oh, sorry, you're on mute.
Thank you. Thanks, John. We have, just to be clear, we have, explicit, motion language, just so that we're thorough and that we're all on the same page. So we have, oops, excuse me. My email is just working against me here.
Madam Mayor, I'll make the motion with whatever language is appropriate.
Sure. So we have some potential motion language. I could entertain a motion such as denying hiring of Laura Young to the position of city administrator. One, the city of Wabasha no longer consider appointing Laura Young as city administrator and withdraw any offer of such appointment to her as it no longer finds that she's suitable for the position. 2, that Mayor Emily Duran consult with legal counsel to draft and provide Laura Young with any appropriate verbal and or written notices related to this decision. And it can go on to state that we reopen the process for appointing the position of city administrator for the city of Wabasha, as to allow for the city to pursue other candidates for the position of city administrator. So if we have a motion and a second to that motion, we could.
I'll make that
discuss it.
motion.
Second.
I hear a motion from Friedmeier, a second from Sulla. Any further discussion?
Yeah, how did you modify that? You were just adding that you were going to send a letter along with the denial of hiring.
Right. So it's in the spirit of John's motion to deny hiring Lori to the position of city administrator, with 2 points: that the city of Wabasha no longer considers appointing Laura Young as city administrator and withdraws any offer of such appointment, as it no longer finds she's suitable for the position. And number 2, that the mayor, in consultation with legal counsel, drafts and provides Laura Young with any appropriate verbal and or written notices related to this decision. And as a subpoint to that, that the city council reopen the process for appointing the position of city administrator for the city of Wabasha, as to allow the city to pursue other candidates for the position.
This might be a little question for legal. Does this motion need to include the reason basically on the basis of an unsuccessful background check?
Yeah, that's your discretion, but again, that's part of the council's discretion, or in consultation with the mayor. We've left it general that we would articulate that within any verbal written notice to Ms. Young. So technically, we felt it didn't exactly need to be part of the motion, but if you as the council feel it's important to state that. But again, I want to clarify, our language was that she's no longer suitable for employment. So you have to decide, is that acceptable enough? And obviously legally that's intentional language.
Anything further related to that question or any other aspect of the motion?
Jeff, does that satisfy?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second. Would anyone wish for further discussion on that motion as stated? All right, then we would take a vote by roll.
Holcomb,
Yes.
Sulla,
Yes.
Friedmeier,
Yes.
Walrick,
Yes.
Moyer,
Yes.
Woodley,
Yes.
Durand.
Yes. All right, hearing nothing further, we have no further agenda, and we would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Motion by Walrick, second by Sulla. Any further discussion? All right, we'll have a vote by roll.
Holcomb,
Yes.
Sulla,
Yes.
Friedmeier,
Yes.
Walrick,
Yes.
Moyer,
Yes.
Woodley,
Yes.
Durand.
Yes. All right, thanks everybody for your time. I really appreciate it. I know the holidays are creeping up and everybody's very busy this time of year. And we look forward to our final, as far as we know, final city council meeting of the year, which is the 31st, on which date we'll approve bills. Thank you and good night.
Thanks, guys.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Same to